Danger Dolan. From guns on your belt to rockets that explode into a million pieces, we count 15 outrageously harmful children's toys.
Number 15.
Battlestar Galactica Colonial Viper. Here we have the toy that actually started the choking hazard trend. The vehicle itself is fine, but the pretend laser torpedo is the problem here. Some 4-year-old kid shot it down his throat, possibly because he was trying to swallow the whole ship. He then promptly choked to death. Mattel, the producers of the toy, were sued, and ever since all small toys need a bright sticker on it that says, "Don't try to eat this, you fool."
Number 14.
Creepy Crawlers, 1964. What kind of toys do kids want these days? Oh, I know. An oven that produces unbearable 150 degrees of skin-peeling heat. They'll love it. The Creepy Crawler oven had little kids molding spiders and bugs out of plastic and heating them up to solidify. Unfortunately, it exerted toxic, deadly fumes and burnt the flesh off kids' hands because they could reach in at any time to fiddle with the hot plate.
Number 13.
Austin Magic Pistol, the 1950s. Every kid likes a pretend pistol, but only hardcore kids can wield this explosive hand cannon that shoots actual fireballs. It's designed to propel ping pong balls by mixing calcium carbide with water, which then creates a flaming explosion, which, when you really break it down, is essentially a gun. Apparently in the 1950s, it was totally fine to sell children a gun. But I guess when you look at how many school shootings there have been lately, has anything really changed?
Number 12.
Hannah Montana Pop Star Card Game. What could possibly be dangerous about a simple card game? Are paper cuts really that bad? No. Try the second most deadly household toxin in existence, lead. These cards contain 75 times more lead than the law-permitted maximum. And even after we discovered this fact, they still hadn't been taken off the shelves. Why? Because the lead was found in the vinyl, not inside the paint, and thus there was a loophole in the regulations. Thanks, Miley Cyrus.
Number 11.
Cabbage Patch Snack Time dolls. Like something out of a Goosebumps horror novel, these dolls will mechanically chew any substance that makes its way into its mouth. They were originally supposed to pretend to eat plastic foods, but they soon began feasting on little kids' fingers. One girl who was virtually scalped along the back of her head when a doll started gnawing at her hair. And the most chilling part, these dolls have no off switch. The only way to stop their carnivorous rampage is to smash them into dust.
Number 10.
Belt guns. In the 50s, kids were able to replace the buckle on their belt with this contraption, in which you thrust with your stomach and a miniature gun pops out. It fired small pellets, but the problem was it was also a cap gun, so it would make an exploding sound. Unfortunately, some unlucky kids had it randomly explode on their schlong. You don't exactly look manly when you thrust forward and an exploding belt burns your dick off. We have a word for that. It's called stupid.
Number 9.
Slip and slide. A lot of you will have played on one of these, and for the most part it's fine for kids. Unless you forgot to moisten the slide enough, in which case it becomes a slip and go to the hospital. Now the problem comes in when a teenager or adult tries to use it. Since the slide is so short and the stop is so incredibly abrupt, a number of adults have been paralyzed from spine damage. I would make a witty comment here, but I think we should take a moment to feel sad about all these ruined lives and folks who died by a sloppy ride on the slip and slide.
Number 8.
Sky Ranger Park Flyer Radio Control Airplanes. All remote control airplanes have the potential to hit some elderly people, break their face or kill them to death, but the Sky Ranger is particularly nasty. Instead of merely hitting people and, stunning them for a moment, the Sky Ranger will hit you and explode into a ball of flame, with reports of burns, eye lacerations, and permanent deafness. It's a great way to spend your weekend.
Number 7.
Magnetics. This was a building set like magnetized Legos, in which you could break them open and a bunch of small magnets would fall out. Kids would naturally eat these, and they would connect with each other through the tissue walls inside your body, joining the intestines to vital organs and squeezing them together. After one baby died, the manufacturer said, "Nah, that doesn't happen." No sir. After 34 more kids were injured, they were pulled from store shelves and rebranded as Magnext.
Number 6.
Splash off water rockets, 1997. For a short period, stores sold this portable death trap, a rocket you fill with water until the pressure builds up too much and it rockets off. Unfortunately, the rocket would often not take off and instead detonate, hurling shards of now deceased rocket throughout the flesh cavities of your small children. At least 37 accounts of people suffering lacerations to various body parts were recorded. I'd love to see how these guys would fare working for NASA. I doubt they'd be able to build half a ladder without it exploding in an astronaut's face.
Number 5.
Moon shoes. Oh, what's that? You've got ADD so intense that you need to bounce around the neighborhood on trampoline shoes? Awesome. Here's a pair made entirely of metal. Ones that could cave in a dog's rib cage with minimal effort, so you can dance around the streets like an idiot. Oh no, you've broken your ankle because you didn't land properly. I'm sure that won't happen again 500 more times. Uh-oh, you misjudged your jump and you fell off a cliff. What a loss.
Number 4.
Gilbert glass blowing, the 1950s, a time before toy manufacturers developed a fully formed adult brain. Some marketing wizard decided that young boys need to learn how to heat glass at 500 degrees Celsius with no safety equipment or supervision. Now, as long as you read the instruction booklet back to front, wore fireproof gloves, and prayed to Satan that the flimsy plastic goggles would protect your eyes from searing molten heat, everything would turn out fine, right? Spoilers? Nah.
Number 3.
Wego kite tube, an inflatable tube that a boat would pull behind and make it fly like a mid-air surfboard. It worked for sure, too well though. It would soar 30 feet in the air, a child would fall off, land on anything but water, and die. The people that bought this product were likely unaware that there's a similar thing. It's called a jet ski. The main difference being that you won't fall 30 feet and die.
Number 2.
Soccer boppers. Gotta get them kids trained up for their glorious boxing careers, but we can't practice with lame pillar fights, oh no. Let's give them some inflatable pain devices and let the kids fuck each other up. They were advertised as safe wrestling toys, but they very quickly became violence enablers, dulling the impact for a fist, but with all the force of a punch coming at you endlessly. Oh hey, how did your son die again? That's right, we bopped him to death. We bopped his goddamn face off. Boy, you all had fun, and that's what counts.
Number 1.
Fisher Price Power Wheels motorcycle. You might think, oh, a motorcycle for kids? What could possibly go wrong? But it's actually surprisingly safe. Kids just sometimes run it into oncoming traffic because they're stupid. Power Wheels though, sometimes it would suffer any driver's worst nightmare. Your kid will be driving along, maybe down a nearby hill, and suddenly his accelerator would jam. He would travel faster and faster until bam, his bike starts to fly and he gently ascends towards the sunset. When in reality, your kid has fucking died, and now you need to write on his tombstone, cause of death, Fisher Price toy. That's it for this countdown, and have a good one!